like to welcome everybody to the Pike County Community Cleaning Board, Pride Board Golf Tournament. Also, I'd like for all the public officials that are here to introduce themselves at this time. Go ahead, Judge.
I'll be speaking.
Okay. Congressman?
Congressman will be speaking also. He'll
Okay.
be speaking, and Ray Jones will be speaking.
Okay, they're gonna be speaking, so we'll have them then. Okay, I'd like to thank everyone for coming here, and this is put on by the Pike County Pride Board and the State Pride Board and the Fiscal Court. We want to thank everybody for sponsoring this and taking part in it to help make our county more cleaner and beautiful. You know, we've come a long way in the 12 years I've been on this board, and I think we've got a long ways to go yet. But Pike County is definitely looking a lot better. At this time, I'll turn it over to T.J. Littlefick.
Thank you, Kent. Good morning. Welcome everybody here to the Elk Run Golf Course, formerly Mountain Pub Links. It's a beautiful day in Pike County, and on behalf of your county government and the fiscal court, we'd like to welcome you here today. We are proud to today have as our guest of honor the greatest congressman in the greatest county in the Commonwealth. Deputy Judge John Doug Hayes was supposed to fill this role this morning but couldn't be here, so I'm filling in for Judge Hayes. It is my privilege now to introduce to you the Chief Executive of Pike County, currently serving in his sixth term as Judge Executive, the Honorable Wayne T. Rutherford.
Thank you, TJ, and the honored guest and Congressman Rogers. We're always glad to have our congressman in Pike County. And what a job that Congressman has done with pride of eliminating the straight pipes. We got a lot of work to do and cleaning up his entire district, and especially what he's done for here in Pike County. But I see Bobby Mullins here. This is a Pike County program, Pike County Pride, and I see Jimmy Dale Sanders and what we would do without Jimmy Dale. We have been very successful in our rivers and streams and also on our roadways. And also I seen Frank Hatcher here. Frank's road department is a part of the cleanup. But the main thing is this board, this people that volunteer, and the educational program. And the educational program and Mrs. Brown over here that she has in our school systems, and teaching our young people what it means to clean up our environment and have a clean environment. But we are doing a lot in this beautiful golf course. You can see the change in this golf course if you haven't been here in a while in the new facility. We will be having a ribbon cutting on this. We will be officially changing the name in the next few days. And we certainly are proud of this golf course. And this building would not have been here if it hadn't been for our legislators and our fiscal court. Senator Jones is here, and he can tell you that he caused this. And let me say this, the local newspaper over here is opposed to this golf course. They have run editorial after editorial and even saying it ought to be closed. And they had the magistrates scared into closing it. And discussions was held closing it. And because they said, oh, if you're cutting people off, they don't realize a tool this is in our toolbox as we try to attract jobs, to bring people in, to give them employment, to have a public golf course. And the money that's been spent over here. And I had to convince the magistrates to scrap that and go ahead and get us a budget done this year, and we're down $5.3 million in two budgets because of what the Obama administration, EPA, has done to our coal business. Yes, we have people cut off, but we're here today for pride and to thank our congressman and his staff and all of them for what they've done and to what they've done for all of eastern Kentucky. Pike County is one of the most beautiful areas that need to be cleaned up and kept clean up. And we can do this by this Pride Committee we have local. They meet, they work. It's not one that don't go out and get something done. They get something done out in this county. They go out and pick up. This gentleman right here, many times I've gone through Pond Creek and up through Hardy and saw him and his wife and others out picking up beside the road. And we all have to be involved. We're glad to see Virgil Osborne and the school superintendent and the other people from our local school board. The schools are a part of this. They're the ones that we coordinate with. We're the ones that they work with to train our people and our young people. When we started this program back many years ago, Dr. Mary Pauline Fox went to every school in this county and said, go home and tell your parents to quit throwing their garbage out the back door. Clean it up. But today we're here to raise money to put into this educational program, to buy the things that they need, to match the money that the congressman sends in here, and to have a cleanup program second to none that in this Commonwealth. And I commend these volunteers and these board members and the leadership that they give them. And I'm certainly glad that I had the opportunity to come here and stand today and to talk about this beautiful golf course, this beautiful setting of this golf course that has been saved because it needed to be saved, Senator, to have in that toolbox and to have a private golf course so that you could bring pride and to bring a congressman here and to be proud of our area. Thank you all and God bless. Senator, he tells me that I have the honor today of introducing our senator and my senator, Ray Jones. Ray Jones has to put up with me continuously, especially when it gets around time of the Kentucky legislature to meet. For some reason, I show up many times at his office down in Frankfort when they're in session. And what a supporter we've had. We have a support of Representative Combs and Representative Hall. But Senator Jones is an advocate of our coal industry, of our natural gas industry, and a supporter of pride. And it is with pride that I introduce to you our Senator Ray Jones.
Well, it's great to be here today, and it's my privilege to introduce what I consider to be the finest congressman in America. And I say that as a Democrat, and I have said the same thing on the floor of the state Senate because, you know, this is my 13th year in office, and Congressman Rogers was elected to Congress over 30 years ago. And growing up in Virgie, there's a whole bunch of us around here playing this tournament today from Virgie. How many folks here from Shelby Creek here? There's a bunch of them here. That's right, and we're well represented here. And but most of us, I told Congressman yesterday, when I was growing up, we would go out in the creek through Virgie, through the camps, and we would go out and fish. And I see Brian shaking his head back there, and I always wondered what this black sediment was in the creek. Well, you know, I was 10, 12, 13, 14 years old. I really didn't know. Well, I know now what it was. It was from straight pipes. And thanks to pride, we've eliminated, Congressman Rogers told me yesterday, over 30,000 straight pipes in eastern Kentucky. And that is remarkable. But more importantly, what this program has done is it has instilled in the people of our communities the importance of cleaning up our environment and making sure that future generations don't have to deal with environmental problems that we create. Am I right, Brother Teddy? Now, Congressman Rogers, we're here about pride today, and I want to thank Brother Teddy and Jimmy Dale and Betty and all the pride volunteers for all the hard work. And I know Judge Rutherford, who I have known pretty much my whole life, as long as I can remember, has always advocated to cleaning up our environment. But Congressman Rogers, I would be remiss if I didn't touch on something else. We have been plagued by the scourge of drug addiction. And Congressman Rogers has led the fight in Washington in addressing this issue, Sheriff. Is that right, Sheriff? We have Sheriff Kaziz back here with us. He joined us. And he'll tell you that Congressman Rogers and Operation Unite has played a key role in addressing this battle. And here with Congressman today is Dan Smoot from Unite. Dan has played a pivotal role on this. Dan, would you hold your hand up back here? And Danielle Smoot from Congressman Rogers' office, but the big fella handing Congressman the water there is somebody that if you need something from the Congressman's office, his name is Grayson Smith. Some of you may remember he played football at UK. He's from McGoffin County. We won't hold that against him. But more importantly, Congressman Rogers was wise enough to choose a Pike County girl, Karen Kelly, as his, what I consider to be his chief of staff. And Karen heads up all of the field services operations that Congressman Rogers' office has throughout his district. And that's a tremendous benefit is when you have somebody from our county with direct access to the congressman. But you know, he is a fine man, and I'm privileged to have had the opportunity to work with him. And again, he is the finest congressman in America. And Congressman, would you come on up, please?
Thank you. Thank you.
And we were together yesterday, and Congressman Rogers and I had a little conversation yesterday about a economic development opportunity that Governor Patton has been working on, and some of the local business leaders, and he may want to touch on that briefly. But Congressman, we have here two hats. One is from Unite Pike, and one is from the Pike County Schools, and they've asked me to present those to you.
All right.
I don't know if you're going to be able to play golf today, but those may come in handy. And also an umbrella on behalf of Dreamhouse Furnishings, which is one of the sponsors of the tournament, and that may come in handy as well. So, but without taking too much of the time, it's my privilege to introduce Congressman Hal Rogers, the chairman of the United States House of Representatives Appropriations Committee.
Thank you. Well, Ray, thank you very much for the nice introduction. You know, in this business that we are in, politics, you run across people from time to time that are outstanding, that really have the public's interest at heart. And certainly, Ray is one of those people. I mean, he is a tried and true public servant who does an exceptionally good job down in the state Senate for our part of the state. And so, Ray, I want to thank you for the good work that you do and are doing. And it's good to be with the judge, Judge Rutherford. We work together hand in hand, trying to solve difficult problems in Pike County, and I appreciate his dedication. Since day one, no county in my district has been more enthusiastic and successful about the Pride cleanup campaign than Pike County. No one. Year after year, Pike County sets the pace for the spring cleanup and the fall cleanup events across our region. This past April, across our region of Kentucky, we had 30,000 volunteers that gave us 2 weeks, and some of them more, to clean up our region. And you know what? Have you noticed in the last several years since you've been at work cleaning up Pike County, and we've tried to clean up all 42 of the counties in the coverage area, have you noticed how neat and clean things are? I mean, you wouldn't even know the place from 15 years ago or 10 years ago. And that's thanks to the effort of your great committee here in Pike County, and some dedicated volunteers who give so much of their time and attention to making things nice and neat. I think the secret of Pride's success is the word. Pride. There's nobody in the country, perhaps even in the world, who are more proud of their home bases than Kentuckians, especially Eastern Kentuckians. We take pride in our communities. We take pride in our churches, in our businesses, in our individual lives, in our homes. And we've drawn on that pride that you have to organize us into a much larger effort. And boy, have you paid off. People like Marie Childers up here. Wave at us, Marie. there's no room for slowing down. She's one of the biggest advocates in general for Pike County that I've ever encountered. I mean, she don't whisper at you either. The entire Pride Committee loves Pike County, and it's that same passion for our hometowns that drive the Pride movement all across eastern Kentucky. 16 years ago, East Kentucky looked like a different place. Time and again, staff and I would be driving throughout the region, and we'd notice all the trash in the creeks and the Kentucky ducks hanging by the limbs over the creeks, and old cars and appliances thrown over the hillside into the creeks, dumps that existed for 100 years, and so on. A wholly different place. But through your efforts across our region, you've closed 3,000 old dumps, cleaned them up. Judge, it's hard to find a dump anymore, and that's a good thing. And you've picked up almost 1 million tires thrown in the streams and across the creeks and the like. You've picked up like 190,000 old refrigerators and white appliances thrown over the hillside. It's an amazing story, and it's difficult to cover the whole story because it is so big. So thanks to you, our volunteers, tons of trash and debris are removed year-round, and we just don't have those ugly problems that we had 30 years ago. We've turned embarrassment into pride, thanks to you. General James Bickford, you recall, who was Governor Patton's Secretary of Natural Resources, a native of Harlan, a retired Army general of great distinction, was Secretary. And he and I never had met him, but he and I met in Louisville at some meeting and each made a speech. And we both covered the same topic, and that's the need to clean up. And thus began a partnership which I cherish to this day. General Bickford has since gone on to be with the Lord. But boy, he left a legacy. And it's the inspiration that continues to motivate me, and I know you, that General Bickford helped us start this whole shebang. I remember one of the first dump cleanups. It's a huge dump over in Floyd County. It's probably a quarter mile long, down a 45-degree bluff down to the creek below. Stuff in there maybe 15, 20 feet thick. Huge dump. Been there probably for 75 or 80 years. We couldn't get to it except we got an old flat-bottom boat, Judge, and we had them hook it up to the winch on a Jeep. And they lowered us in that boat down this incline to where we could get a hold of a bunch of trash just to symbolically get it up. And they winched us back up out of that thing. We only did that one time. Well, actually, we did it twice in one time, first and last. But we've been through a lot together. You don't see those massive dumps anymore. 3,000 of them have been cleaned up. And even though federal money helped launch Pride and still continues to try to help where we can, it's been the grassroots efforts. It's been your work, volunteers, all of you. It's been some state funding, Ray. Thank you very much. And then private donations and things like this that have kept Pride going strong. And I want to thank all of you for your support of Pride over the years, especially your financial support, and it's needed now. We don't have the federal funds like we used to have, so we've got to pick up the slack and carry on. Pride is one of the very few organizations where you can actually see visible results of what you have invested in your time and work. One of the biggest problems we've had in East Kentucky, a legacy of past generations, straight pipes. In years past, we didn't have running water. Where I grew up in Wayne County, we didn't have running water. You had to go out to the well and bring it up. And consequently, you had very little water to discharge out of your home because you didn't have or use much water. Just a trickle into the pipe that emptied into the yard, which made its way to the creek. But then we ran city water out to people. And here comes the commodes and dishwashers and clothes washers and everything else water-wise. And that little trickle in that pipe became a steady stream 24 hours a day into our streams. And you couldn't swim in most of the running waters of Kentucky, especially in our region. Well, we used the satellites to locate straight pipes. A really interesting mixture of new science and old things. And we located where those straight pipes are, tens of thousands of them. We located 36,000. They were in hot spots. You could see where they were predominant. And so we began a program to clean up the streams by getting rid of those sewage straight pipes. Corps of Engineers, innovative treatment operations for a few homes. We gave away to poor people septic tanks and installed them for them. And today there are 30,000 fewer straight pipes than when we started. I've said it many a time. My goal in life is to be able to swim in the river at Boonesboro, Kentucky. You can't do it now, but it's getting better. The fish are coming back. And it's because you've devoted your time and attention and some money to this cause. And so I'm very proud of what you're doing. Now, today I hope we have a good time, that rain's going to hold off. And you're going to have a good time playing some good old golf. Congratulations to the community for this renovated golf course, Judge. And I look forward to playing it myself one of these days. You know, prevention is the greatest tool we have. It's a lot easier to teach kids not to throw that stuff out the window of the car or over the bank. It's easier to teach them than it is to bulldoze and backhoe those old dumps that we've seen over the years. And through this golf scramble, and in partnership with Pike County Schools, and by the way, the superintendent is here. Raise your hand. There you go. Thanks for coming out. The Pride Committee raises enough money to keep environmental education in the schools. In fact, the Pike County Pride Environmental Education Liaison has provided hands-on lessons to nearly 4,000 third and fourth grade students already. And I want to thank you on the school system for doing that. Now, the Pike County Pride Committee really took on the challenge to incorporate pride in every community, from Elkhorn City to Belfry to Pikeville. You've recruited churches, you've brought in civic groups, you've brought in school clubs, every sector of the community. You've had one of the most aggressive marketing campaigns for pride cleanups in the region, billboards, TV ads, radio spots, and so forth. And as a result, here's what you've done in Pike County. You've cleaned up 416 illegal dumps. You've cleaned up 4,600 miles of roadway. 2,000 old appliances are no longer littering your hillsides. You've picked up 14,000 old tires. And in addition to that, 5 tractor trailer loads of tires on top of that. You've picked up 83,000 bags of trash. For all of your efforts over the last 10 years, you've earned the Outstanding Pride Committee Award. Now, year after year, Jimmy Dale Sanders has organized cleanup events at Fish Trap, rallied volunteers across the county, worked tirelessly to ensure every cleanup is a success. Whether a dumpster is needed for a community event deep in the hills or on private property to clean up a dilapidated home, Jimmy Dale will even deliver dumpsters on site and has done so. He's a major reason why Pike County had more than 800 volunteers this past April. Jimmy Dale, I want you to come up here. I want to present you with the Outstanding Volunteer Recruitment Award for the 2013 Pride Spleen Up campaign. Thank you, big guy. Thank you. You're the best. You did a great job.
I'm from Jimmy Street, Karen from Horsey Street.
There you go. There you go. Jimmy Dale, thank you. Who's gonna take this?
And then you guys come up from the Clean Community Board.
Proud of it, Jimmy.
Yeah, come around here. Where's your committee? All the committee, Pride Committee, come on around. Marie? Marie, come on down.
You volunteer.
Let's see,
Where's Maria?
Marie? Come on in.
Yeah, Judge, why don't you come over here too? See who else is here.
Is this everybody?
Bobby,
Eddie, you
Bobby
need
here.
to I can't see you back there.
Where's Betty at? Yeah, get her up front. Hang on this side. There you go. Good. She's on there. Yeah, we'll make it.
Ray, come in here. Judge, where are you? I'm right here.
I've got him.
You got it? All right, here we go. Who's gonna, there you go. Now, let's all smile and look happy. Now let's hear it for this great committee.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Carl.
Now, this committee is the backbone of the Pike County Pride effort, and I want to personally say a thank you to each one of them. Now, we're going to play some golf. We're going to stop talking, but I've got a story I've got to tell you as you get ready to kick off. This new couple, just married, we're checking into the motel, and they get to the door late at night. He puts the key in the door. He says, honey, before we consummate this marriage, I want to tell you something. I owe this to you. He said, just so that you know. He said, I'm a golfer. And I'm going to be playing golf every weekend from Friday night till Monday morning. I'm a great golfer, and I love my golf, and I just want you to know that I won't be here on the weekends. I'll be playing golf. She looked sort of disappointed. But then she said, well, John, I got something to tell you, too. I've been dreading to tell you. She said, before I met you, I was a hooker. And he says, well, don't worry about it. Just turn your left hand over, and I think it'll cure your problem. Have a great time. Thank you so much for Pride.